Okay, we are live, and again, please share.
Mm.
Facebook or YouTube.
As the clock strikes 7, the vibes are alive. Inner circles here, where voices thrive. Turn on your screens, let the magic unfold. Listening and healing as stories are told. Come on, come on, this is your time. No topics too tough, just heed the calls. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the strong and the meek. A safe space for all, let's lift every voice. Inner Circle podcast where hearts unite. Sharing our truths, bringing hope to the light. Community strong, we're never alone. Together as one, we've created a home. With laughter and love, we break down the walls. No topics too tough, just heed the calls. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the strong and the meek. A safe space for all, let's lift every voice. So join the conversation, let's set the tone. In a Circle podcast where love is well known.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever around the world you are watching us from. Today is Wednesday, February 5th, and it is our business segment. But tonight, because we are in the month of love, so tonight, Miss B, my co-host, a panelist here, chose a very, very special topic: finding the right partner, aligning values for financial success, basically money and love. So tonight she have three men against her one. So, but she would probably hold her ground. But before we dive into things, let's take care of quick business here, right? If you love this show, we come at you here 3 days a week. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's the Inner Cycle podcast. We bring you interesting topics, interesting conversations, special guests, every week. And we hold the community down. So this is a community show. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Everywhere you get we'll be on Apple Podcasts soon and things like that. So please, please. And also Twitter. If you're on Twitter, we are there as well. So you can follow us, subscribe, and things like that. So please, please join us so we can change this community and we can change the conversation. So with that, guys, as I said, tonight the topic is finding the right partner, aligning values for financial success. Miss B, I will start with you. Why you chose this topic? What's about this topic that was interesting to you?
Because it's February, ladies. It's the month of love and gentlemen. It's your girl, Miss B. Happy to be here tonight with these gentlemen. Because it's important. It really, really is important as somebody who talks about building black wealth, building closing the wealth gap.
Mhm.
Who you are partner with, who you are aligned with, it's ultimately impacts your ability to grow this wealth, and it impacts your ability to be able to help close the wealth gap. And so I saw an interview with what's her name, Michelle Obama,
Mhm.
about giving marriage advice, and the first thing that came out of her mouth was like, choose right.
Mhm.
First of all, choose right and choose well. Choose the
Mhm.
right person and choose well. So it matters who you align yourself with to be successful. And so I'm going to start with that.
But why? So I'll push it there a little bit. Right? Why is choosing well have to what to do has to do with money? Choosing well, why money has to play into that?
Because when you think about all the people who have historically had wealth in this country, and
Mhm.
and we talk about old money, right? And we talk about families having
Mhm.
wealth. What is at the core of that? The family, right?
Mhm.
These are people who held strong marriages, strong family values, and which allows them to be stable.
Ah,
Being in the right relationship aligns you to be stable, It allows you to be mentally healthy, and therefore you're able to focus and strategize and grow that wealth together.
Okay.
Any family, you think about all the families, it's mostly old money is all family generation after generation.
Okay.
You had a unit, a husband and wife or a partner unit that, was together to create this wealth, right? It's very few. It's only now this new generation you're going to find single people creating wealth in their own, but at the core, it's that unit of two people.
Okay. Well, tonight we have a very, very special guest, a contributing guest, from Iowa joining us, Mr. Taylor May.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'll ask you, Taylor, why do you think financial alignment is crucial in a relationship?
Well, it's like the lady said rightfully. It is crucial because nowadays, like you said, maybe even that back in the day. So back in the day, it was easy because love people found even love without finance back then, right? But nowadays, it's not even like that. The money nowadays is in front of even love, so it's not even like the way it used to be. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so that part of it, to be honest to you, I think that's a very key nowadays in relationship, and that's one of the reasons why you see people drift away. Believe it or not, it's not even like what it used to be.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's even financed before even cheating. People can even have two girlfriends that doesn't even matter. Nowadays, even divorce right now, everything is financed.
Yeah.
Money is number one when it comes to everything. So even cheating in a relationship now is not even count as something that somebody will leave you for.
Mm.
People getting married nowadays because of what maybe TaylorMade can offer them. Maybe Mr. B or brother AB can give to them. So they size you up. People act as if maybe they love you. So people needs to be wise, and those are some of the reasons why people think people like them, or maybe love them. Or everybody have some type of inner agenda, that they will not tell you from the beginning why they like you. But people like you because of so many different reasons, and they keep that in them.
Okay.
So those two together, at the end of the day, like Ms. B rightfully said, is very important because back in the day it was like that, but nowadays, it's not. You don't find that no more.
Mel, why do you think in today's reality or in today's society, money is at the center of a relationship? Why?
Well, there are a lot of contributing factors, right? You can do anything without money, right? Most of the things we do on a day-to-day basis requires money. So if you are in a relationship, right, and you will need money to maintain your individual life along with your partner. So without that, it's challenging. It put a lot of stress on you guys. So you're talking about that, right? Finding a partner who along with that goal, where the both of you are working towards a specific goal financial wise, is key in a relationship. If that is not in place, it will become problem as you guys progress or continue to move on. There'll be, question about you. We can even come up with this. You think about you, we're a partner, you want to go on vacation, you want to do things outside of just your day-to-day activity that requires money. So those are some of the driven contributing factors. But again, another piece, Abe, right? Over time, there have been inflation. Over time, there have been inflation wherein the value of money depreciate, and you want more to maintain your living status. So in doing that, you have to have a mindset to want be able to manage what you have, and also be able to put stuff aside as family for the future. So not just for you and your partner, but the kids too as well. If you start having family, you got to build that and make sure the kids are not thinking about, going through what you went through as a parent, right? Set that foundation for them. So I think when you kind of look at these things, they are the contributing factor as to why people look at money as major piece in being in a relationship with someone.
So Tatas, then to that, then do you have to be compatible with someone before you love to them? I mean, does it have to be? Do you guys have to be financially compatible? I mean, you can be compatible in other regard, right? But do you guys have to be financially compatible?
I would say there's a really strong area to be compatible at. When you mentioned compatible at first, I was gonna ask in what sense. But if
I mean, it's a compatibility to me, right? It's like in every sense,
financial
but
compatibility,
in every sense. But let's say, but do you guys have to be financially compatible to Do you have to be financially compatible with someone to love to them or to get into a long-term relationship with them? I guess that's the point I'm trying to drive at.
I mean, if we're getting into something that we're serious about, something that we want to take a long way, right? The finance is an area that should be seriously considered. Let's look at some of the numbers. 22% of divorce cases involve financial disagreements, right? And per the American Psychological Association, 72% of Americans feel stressed about money some of the time or most of the time. So, I mean, just considering the magnitude of finance in a relationship, in your personal life, right? More to think about adding another person who comes from an entirely different world. Why wouldn't you want to align with another person in that area? It's going to, like all of the panelists have said, this is going to play a major role in that relationship, in the journey ahead, and how successful this relationship is going to be or not.
Okay. Ms. B, to Walker's point here, right? Mario, I mean, he's quoting Socrates here. You know, I'm no philosopher, but I will kind of push his point here a little bit. Right? It says marry a good person and be happy, marry a bad person and become a philosopher. But marrying a good person doesn't have anything to do with money, though, is it? I mean, it's like, to me, money does not bring happiness. I know you guys saying, oh yeah, we live in a world where like money is at the center of everything, but you can be happy without money, right? It's like it doesn't have to. A good person doesn't have to be financially compatible with you.
Marrying a good person. Marry a good person is right, will make you happy, right? Will not make you happy, because I don't believe in people making you happy. They're supposed to be adding to your happiness and not subtracting for it. But if you're married to the right person and you're in a good environment that you're happy in, you can flourish. It's like with the flowers, right? You provide the right environment, that flower is going to blossom and it's going to go beyond what you had even intended for it to happen. And I think that's what happens when you have good partners, right? It's exemplified in the life that they're living, the lifestyle they have. It's exemplifying the things that they're able to accomplish together as a partner and be successful. So when you talk about compatibility, I know, ladies, you're out there sometime and maybe you're the educated one and your partner just is not. But what you look for sometimes is that ambition and that drive, right? If you see somebody, they're very hardworking, right? They're working, they have goals, and they're working towards starting their own business, right? And maybe you're the one is carrying all the degrees and whatever, and technically you're carrying debt with those degrees. But anyways, that's another conversation. And so that's where you can see potential in somebody, right? Because you know, if they have that ambition, they have that drive, they can also push you too, because maybe you're just on this trajectory that, you know what, I'm going to get this degree, I'm going to work my way up the corporate ladder, and that's their answers to success. Whereas you have this person, they're ambitious and they're saying, you know what, I've worked in this field for so long, I think I can take what I've learned on this job and go and start my own company now and build something and start building that wealth. Now you take that mindset of that college degree, that corporate foundation, and you take that ambition, that drive, and you put that together, that's powerful, right? And that's where that compatibility comes to, because what's the core thing here? Both people are ambitious. They take a different direction with their ambition, but they're both ambitious, and now they're going to come together and make that one.
Okay. So to the middle, how do you know, right? We live in a world these days, as you start dating someone, how do you know that you guys are even going to be financially aligned? Or how do you find that out? Do you have to do background check? We did a show a while ago here, right? Let's say that we talk about background check and all those stuff like that. Do you have to do background check? Because sometimes someone might have different financial habits. You know, two people sometimes coming together, you'll have different financial habits. How do you know that you guys are even going to be aligned when it comes to your finances?
But I'll tell you the truth, brother, Mr. Kamara. You know, the world that we live in, like the panelists, you know, rightfully said. I'll tell you this, thing. You know, even back then, right? If you look at history, a man can actually grab a lady from 0 degree, like Miss B said, right? One of the party doesn't have no degree. Back in the day, even up to now, to today's day, a man can grab a girl and pick up a girl from nowhere, right? And from zero in her account, 0 balance. and make that person work with them, pay whatever that they need to do, pay bills from January to December, and keep doing it over and over.
Mhm.
If you flip that around, the percentage of women nowadays, or even back then, to do it is very low.
Hmm.
So yes, these days I don't blame the brothers because men are getting wiser. Like I said earlier, believe it or not, they are out there, not all of them, but most women out there. Marriage is not like what it used to be. Even relationships is not like what it used to be.
Mhm.
People do have hidden agenda, like I said before, but they
Yeah.
would not tell you. For instance, say maybe you drive a Benz or maybe you drive a Ferrari, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But the girl doesn't know you drive a Ferrari, but you're wearing the shorts, you went to the gas station to buy something, you came back, you like the girl. So maybe Miss B, I'm going to use this part as an example.
Yeah.
And then you try to talk to Miss B, and Miss B just look at you because you're wearing slippers, you look dirty. And she's like, nah, I don't deal with you, you're not my type. I'm not messing with you.
So is that is that where those things come from at times, Miss B? Is that where those come from at times?
That is a real reality. There's a guy
Oh,
who
okay.
has a whole social media page on where he tricks girls,
Gold
and then he
digger.
shows up with a nice fancy car, and they're all
Uh-huh.
over him. That unfortunately is
Gold digger Frank.
those are superficial people on both sides.
Yeah.
You have
Okay.
superficial people on both sides.
Okay.
So,
Tita, go ahead.
so to finish up, panelists, to be honest, so guys nowadays, what men are doing, men being smart, men are not stupid.
Mhm.
What men are doing nowadays, they always do what they used to do, but they kind of elevating, our swag a little bit more. Meaning, okay, so if this is what she want, I know that she don't like me. What am I going to do? Let me just give
Mhm.
her, if she like to shop, no problem. Let me just take her buy Chanel back, maybe one or two things to get inside her pants. Okay, no problem. Let me spend couples of dollars. So when they
Mhm.
spend that money, they sleep with you. They know that you are not somebody who they need to settle down with.
Sure.
So they leave you alone. So that's what
Okay.
boys are doing nowadays. And if you look at even, I know maybe divorce would be another segment maybe after this.
Yeah.
But you see the reason why maybe even men are running away nowadays from even what they call marriage.
Yeah.
Because think about, and then you look at prenup, right?
Yeah.
You found this prenup, you came into the relationship, you didn't have anything.
Well,
So
that's
when
a
you're
whole nother
leaving,
topic. It jumping
exactly,
ahead. It jumping ahead. Miss B has that one as another topic here. So
you have it. Okay, no,
don't
no
jump
problem.
ahead too much, Taylor. Don't jump ahead too much. Slow your roll here. Come is there's some great topic. But
Let him out of the cage.
yeah, but now here's the thing though. I mean, it's like Taylor is is raising some, I can say, some loaded stuff, but I don't want to go there. It's like he's throwing some bait. You know what I mean? I don't want to pick that up because there's only one female on here tonight. I don't want to overload her.
No, she will bring
But
her friends another time. She will bring them. We'll deal with
but
them.
here's the thing, right? But here's the thing, Mel. You have two partners. One is, I mean, is that she love debt. The other person say, me, I don't let nothing with debt. Do you think such a relationship can survive? We live I mean, in a country where in like, most things, is that you have to maybe purchase or acquire by debt. But you might have two partners, right? Where in like one is so much in love with debt, everything you want to finance it by debt, and other one say, you know what? I like to save my money and buy my stuff. Do you think such a relationship can survive?
I mean, it depends. If the both of you are working to just, grab stuff and pay for it, but there's a trick to these kind of things, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
I think if you are with a person
Mhm.
that find themselves just wanting to be in debt, to what extent do you want to be in debt? You don't think about planning things out to make sure you have the means before you go for it. Then I think that's a conversation we need to have as people that want to grow. Because the
Mhm.
thing about debt and going and collecting things, I know
Mhm.
America is built on that, but there's a trick to it. They catch you into these kind of things wherein you start to pay these little interest and you get locked into it and you pay maybe 5 or 6%. You think it's only $10,000 before you know it at the end of the day, within the next 2 3 years, something you financing, you pay almost $20,000, double the price, right? So these are
Mhm.
things that people need to understand before they walk into those kind of things. I would
Mhm.
have a conversation with my partner if I found her like that. Bring it up, be
Mhm.
like, look, I think if we want something, like you want to buy a car, let's work towards it. Give it time. What you have now, let's use it and then move on. But if it becomes consistent, to answer your question, wherein
Mhm.
this person just believe this is what they want to do, yes,
Mhm.
it can be a problem. It can be a problem because you cannot live your life when you're working and you just paying debt. You don't have plan. You don't have
Mhm.
goal. And
Mhm.
it's one of the key things that we should look into. People
Yeah.
being together, you should have a goal. right? Your goals should be aligned. Thinking about our future plan. What are the short-term goal? What are our long-term goal? Working towards those require us having money aside to meet those, right? So if we are in the habit of just being indebted every now and then, we cannot get to our goal. So it will be a bigger problem. And in turn, it can cause people to walk away from marriages or relationships if you have a lot of debts that can be handled.
Okay, Titus, before you date a girl, or maybe like enter into a long-term relationship, will you say, hey, I want to know what type of person you are in terms of your credit score or your financial habits? Is that a question? Should that be on the table?
Background check.
Such a question be on the table?
Go be check those scores, and I'm just playing. No, but I think from the conversation on the onstart of the relationship, or even dating, just going out.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, let's start with the dating part, because you gotta start with the dating before you go to the marriage part.
Yeah,
Once you get to marriage now,
those are important. Those are important.
Walk away,
Yeah, those are important conversations to be having. You might not necessarily be directly asking the person for their credit score, maybe later down the line, you guys can really get into that. As Mel said, when you have that financial plan together and that goal, you're really being vulnerable with each other and bringing all of that financial history together to set up a plan, your debts, your score, everything you're putting down on the table, so that you guys can have a combined plan to work towards your financial goal. But from the onstart, the conversation, the way you guys are relating to one another, you can tell if someone is, not as responsible as it should be with finances. You can tell, you can sense it, and you should be.
How long down the line will you wait for to start finding that information out? Right? It's like if you're dating someone, how long down the line?
Too long. Not too long. Not too long.
2 months.
I'll say 3 months. Not too long, because again,
that's too long. That's too long.
You see, in Miss B's case,
gosh,
that's too long.
Miss B, Tyler, let me hold you there. Why is too long, Miss B? Then will come back. Then you can finish your
90 days. Oh my goodness! Why would you wait 90 days to figure out if this person really does have a job? Do they have bad credit? If all the things that they told you are the truth about them. So day one, I think that has been something culturally for a long time. We weren't always like this, because what happened was up until maybe the 1960s, you dated people your family knew, or from your community or your neighborhood. So you had that history of that family history and those things, right? If you were a pastor's child, you were dating somebody in the congregation or another pastor's, child, right? And so, but nowadays, we don't have all of those traditional norms happening again, in our community. So you need to get to the meat of it right away. Don't put it off. The first date, there's nothing wrong with asking somebody those questions, right?
Wow. The first day, just want to get into the credit score, get into the financial habits, get into the financial line.
If you know your worth, if you know your
that's
worth,
women for you, man.
To the table, so you need to get at it, and don't let nobody waste your time.
Why are you bringing that up on the first date? Is that like, is it all about money?
Ask everything on the first date.
That was
what's a good first date? You know what's a good first date question, and you can get a sign for who you're dating? Where do you work? How long have you been at your job? If you tell me, say, I'm in between jobs, or you tell me, say, I just started this new job. Okay, where is that at? What are you doing? Those are typical first date questions, to be honest.
Yeah,
and honestly, I find that out from guys just taking an elevator ride sometimes, right? So if I can find that out just being in an elevator ride, went to Wisconsin, the guys from India, we're in Chicago. The guys from India, he's on his way to a wedding. And just in that short time, I knew that he was single. I knew that he was an engineer. He was on his way to the wedding.
Him there.
I didn't. It was just through casual conversation.
I told you that the size was up. I told you. You were not listening.
No, not me. I didn't even ask any of these questions. I have 4 carats. I'm just gonna put it out there. It's on my finger. I'm sure he saw it, but he was enjoying the conversation. I'm just a people person. And by the time my husband and daughter in the car waiting for me, I ran back to get something from the hotel. So that's why he and I butt up alone in the elevator. Most likely we wouldn't have been alone. But he was like, I'm going to this wedding. I hope my parents are hoping I'm gonna find a partner. And I left the elevator thinking like, why is it so hard for single women to find a good man sometimes? Because I bump into people like this guys all the time. People get comfortable, they talk to you and they tell you things. So there's not a hard question to ask in the first date. You don't even know what you will find out in a quick elevator ride with somebody. You will find out all these things already. So don't be uncomfortable to ask it on the first date. Get to the meetup.
So let me take it.
And then we'll have a commercial break, and then we'll get there. Finish your thought.
Not a commercial break.
Yeah, I want to jump in that
as I was saying here. So you see, Miss B's approach is different than most men. Generally, what do you do? That's a general topic. Even just meeting a person, hey, what do you do, right? But when you talk about digging down into those finances and financial history, a man would take his time compared to a woman. Because like our bro Taylor Miss said, a man would take a woman from 0 degree to whatever 100 without even thinking it before he even starts checking himself, like, okay, who is this lady? What can she bring over here? How can we work together? He's going with the mindset of already, what you're about, putting you on game, versus the lady, she wants to know immediately what you're coming with. She doesn't have that time compared to the man. So that's why those two approaches.
Why the rush? Why you just want to join into the finances?
Ms. B will better answer that question. Why are they anxious? Why are they more paranoid and time sensitive than the men? She can answer that.
We're both hunting for 2 different things. Men, they're hunting to conquer what's in front of them. And so they don't care about what's in front of them as far as the mental and all those things. They want to conquer this in front of them, right? And so women, we're looking for that partner, that husband material. So that's why you
already thinking about the future.
Yes, they're always thinking about, especially if it's a single woman who's ready to make that leap. That's what it's not to say you're sizing men out and you're so thirsty, but you just want to get through, you want to sift through to see, is this somewhere I even want to go? A man, he's looking at you, especially professional men, like men who have it together and are established. Of course, you got it together. You're not looking for her to carry you or to add to you at this moment. You're really genuinely looking to get a feel for her. So you won't ask, oh, what do you do? You're out there thinking like, oh, can we vibe? Can we go out to eat? And then so you won't ask those that even on the date, you're still trying to see, is she somebody I can be a travel buddy with? Is she a travel buddy? Is she somebody I can start to do extracurricular activities with? So you're there on a different type of mission. And she's on a different type of mission. So that's why that impression can come up as, oh, they're sizing you up. They're trying to get to the bag and they want to, rush things or whatever. It's like we're both there with 2 different agendas. And so that's why it may look that way.
Okay. Well, folks, tonight we are discussing finding the right partner, aligning values for financial success. So you can comment in our chat or you can call our number if you want to contribute to this conversation, 817-600-1525. If you are not following us on Facebook, please do that. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter and everywhere else you are on social media. So but Taylor May, though, she's coming to a point where Miss B is saying, you know what I mean? It's like it's not so much that the ladies are sizing you up. They just want to know, hey, what's up with you? Are you a dude that are you a dude that just job hopping, as she said, or you one of those who, you got your things, you got your stuff together,
Okay. Let me approach it in another way. You see, like the Miss B and the brother who just spoke not too long ago.
Titus.
Both of them, somehow they are right. I'll tell you, I'll give you the breakdown between the 2 of them. But Titus is right because tied up men will still stuck in that place. While Miss B is right, Titus need at this 2025. Titus and us, every man need to move over to where Miss B is.
Where Miss B is.
Because that's what causes men problem. And I'll tell you the reason. Because think about it this way. Miss B is not lying. Sometimes even if you meet a girl today, the first thing men will think about is, what can I spend, to get her? What can I do? So it's all about that impression. That's what you see me. I don't like first impression. When you meet somebody, the first thing you open doors for them, you put chairs, the woman is sitting down. Realistically, you are not going to do that all the days of your life. Sometimes some people, everybody body size is not even the same. They want you to pick them up, and the day that you don't pick them up, and women are very smart. Science said that women think with both sides of the brain. Man will think with just one side of our brain. If you do something to a woman today, if you maybe you meet again, say you call her maybe 10 times a day. After that 10 times a day, 3 months pass, you reduce the call to maybe 2 times a day. That's become a problem to women. And then men will say that, oh, how come women, they are like this, they are like that. But we are the one that caused this problem. Now back to Brother Titus. Let me just say Brother Titus' own piece. The reason why Brother Titus is saying that we move along with the list maybe 2 months or maybe 3 months, because sometimes in life when you meet people, you cannot be judgmental on them. Because sometimes you have to understand that you will meet somebody today or get today, maybe you don't know if she was with her ex, and that ex is the one that put her into that debt problem. See what I'm saying? So you want to be very patient with some people sometimes, because that person that you look down upon because they tell you that, well, I have bad credit. Tomorrow, if that person can be even your destiny helper. You understand what I'm saying? So you want to give them, and that's where Brother Titus is coming from. You want to give them that space to get to know them, because if you get to know them, believe it or not, but Mr. Kamara, there are people in jail today for things that they didn't do. Same thing with maybe credit card debt. Sometimes maybe somebody will ask me, hey, Mr. Taylor, tell me, can you buy this for me? I will give you the money. And maybe they will not pay back. Now, moving forward to what Ms. B is saying, it's true. Women, of course, they want, something what they call stability, right? Of course. So women, they do what they can because of the level of intellect that God give them. They use it. Believe it or not, women are very smart. They use it. So and the word when I say size, Mr. B, like I said from beginning, from Genesis, it's not every woman. Let me just make myself clear. It's not every woman. There are some women that size men up. We should not live in this day and age and act as if those things does not exist. And that's the reason why most brothers nowadays are divorcing these women, because of these problems. When they get to know that this is not what they're about, I thought that maybe she was just checking my finances to know that Westman status. Okay. I want to know if my pocket is deep. Not new because of what you want to get to.
Well, Mel, that's so I mean, like while we on this, right? It's like you meet this girl, or this girl meet this guy, right? His credit card, her credit score is good, my man. But man, she's it's like she can cheat like hell. Like I'm coming to this. Her finances on point, but you don't know, I mean, where you like, why are you trying to, be financially compatible with her? But the other aspect of her life might not be straight. What do you do?
My brother, that's the dangerous part that shouldn't be that way. That part should be very aligned. The other people who can work on it.
So which one will you choose? The financial
No, hell no, dude. I don't want to deal with the cheater.
Or the moral alignment. That's which one will you go with?
I'd rather go with somebody who have bad credit and work on that. But here's what I would say, guys. As I was listening to everyone here kind of giving a chat about women and men dating, I think one of the things that we should pay attention to people that are listening to us is when you making a list of what you want in a partner, as a lady or a guy, you say, this is what I want. I want this person to have their finances in tight. I want their credit to be this way. I want this person to be loyal. You, on the other hand, should be able to give those things. And these are problems. Sometimes we are asking for things that we are able to give, right? And as you do it, when this person the list you make, you come across this person, you will not be able to keep this relationship. Why you think that is because you are asking for things that you are unable to give. You want commitment, you want financial alignment, you want this person to have, all their things in tight. But are yours in tight? Right? And these are the problems a lot of us encounter, or a lot of people encounter, right? Wherein you come across somebody who has everything aligned, but yours are not aligned, or you're making these requests, and these are the list of things that you want to see on your checklist, right? But yours, on the other hand, none of it check. So I think in order to have, a true partner that you want to work with, you have to be intentional as to what you want. You don't have to have everything together, but those key things like your finances, your credit, you got a stable job, and you got things going on in your life. And somebody coming, they should be adding on to you, not taking away from you, or you going to somebody and being a liability. In long term, it becomes a problem. This person will get overwhelmed. They will kind of look at it like, this is burdensome. It's not helping me. A partnership should be a teamwork. We should be team. We should play as a team. Our goal is to win together. Winning together, one person cannot do it all. It can be done by an individual when we are partner. If let's say, for example, I have a partner and I'm the partner is the one that doing everything. I just fold my hands, right? I'm not helping. It becomes a problem. This problem will be, the person will be like, well, what is this giving me? How am I benefiting from this, right? And these are questions that will come to mind, which is why we see a lot of things and a lot of people go asunder after a few years because things that should have been put in place weren't put in place on the other person side.
Okay, so you didn't, again, I'll ask you one more time. Just choose one: financial alignment or moral alignment.
My man, I answer your question, but here's what I would say. I said, I'll answer you. I'll answer you again. If it's not secret, I'd rather be with somebody who finances are not aligned, but loyal. I don't want to deal with cheating woman because what that does, my man, it destroy your rep. It destroy you. You're dealing with a cheater. What day you go to where you thinking what the person doing, right? The person leaving the house. No, I'd rather not deal with that. If you want to do something serious, you want to be in a serious relationship, you got to be committed in a lot of areas. Commitment, financial alignment. Those things will come after, but loyalty is key, brother. I can deal with a cheating woman.
Emphasize it, I did that.
I will emphasize on it. I think all of my brothers here can speak to that too as well.
With you on that one.
But Tyler, to Walker's point is like, what is like compromise, right? We're talking about alignment and financial compatibility and all those things, right? But sometimes in life, right, we're all from different background. Where does a compromise come in? Someone, to that May's point earlier, right? Someone might be down, but you don't know their potential. So where does a compromise come in? Where I do say, you know what? Her credit score might be 300. Maybe there's somebody, who knows, we can work together and make something happen. Where does that compromise come in?
This is why most men take their time to get a feel of who they're dealing with, test the temperature, see where you're from and know where you are and where they're able to take you.
Yeah.
Compromise can be in this very subject or topic that we're discussing right now. You might meet a woman, she's a serious person, right? All the other boxes are checked. What if she's a loose spender, right? She mismanages funds. And if that's somebody that you have checked almost all the other boxes with, do you just give up? That's an error to compromise in the meantime while trying to help that person become more financially responsible. And there are a lot of other areas. You can bring that person to the table. Y'all can have these discussions. You could seek help together. Talk to an advisor, a financial advisor together about your finances. But that's an area that I could compromise in. And again, I'll just like to support my brother here, Mel, when he's
okay.
When he says that he cannot compromise, compromise on that other area there. Ain't no compromising on that because that would really destroy you. But that's what life is about. We're all from different walks of life. We don't come with 100%. We're not perfect. There's a lot of flawed human beings coming together. So if you think you're gonna meet this perfection, bring perfection as well. Which is impossible.
Miss B, don't you think that's especially let's come to the cultural piece, right? Liberian community, or maybe in an African setting, or sometime, whatever, right? It's like these days, it's like a woman. These women, maybe their expectations, or like that Mel said, right? They have all these. It's like they just want to order a man from Amazon, all of these things. It's like, and they themselves, they don't have those values or things like that. Don't you think women expectation is so high these days?
I don't think they're high enough.
Oh,
I think
why?
when it
Why you
comes
don't
to,
think they're high enough?
because there's so many relationships I see, I'm like, why are these people together? Like, really? What
Mm,
are
Mm.
where are they going? Like, they've been together 10, 15 years, and I'm sorry, it's like they're both still in the same place. And I'll use one of my brothers,
mm,
baby mom. She was the only one working. He understood the welfare system very well, going nowhere.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
He knew how to be on the benefits and have the
uh,
kids and him on the benefits. And
mm,
she was the one working. She was comfortable.
mm,
She enabled that.
mm,
He left her, went to open his own business. So he worked
mm,
for a staffing agency for a while,
mm,
went to go open his own business, started making $100,000 a year,
mm,
and resented the fact that she didn't push him. She didn't see potential to push him. She was comfortable at just him being at home. And sometimes that's what happens,
mm,
right?
mm,
You because you want your partner to just keep your partner underneath you, you don't see value in pushing them and moving them forward. And then after, when they do find value and recognize their self-worth, and they leave you sometimes, and we don't, and not just him, there's a lot of relationships I see that the man has left her,
mm.
married somebody else or dating somebody else, and he's doing very well, and we want to get mad. Oh, after all these years he was with her, he didn't do all those things when he was with her, but now he's with this girl, he's doing, because this girl wanted more for him. This other partner sees more for him. She sees more potential in him. She's willing to work with him so they can become successful together.
Okay.
You know, I would say that with my relationships, the people that I never dated people that were in school. I love school. I love going to school. You guys know that.
Yeah.
I never did anybody else. When I was in high school, I never did it with boys in high school. In college, I didn't date guys that I went to college with, right?
Yeah.
The boyfriends I typically would have would be guys who were just very hardworking.
Okay.
Honestly, even my Liberian boyfriend, that boy worked, and he just worked a group home, kept a nice size bank account, was able to give me a nice ring, just working from the group home. But us being together, he saw me. What he decided, I want to go into IT. He's like, oh, you know, I want to go into IT, and was great with computers. And I encouraged that, right?
Yeah.
He took position in his group home now. Instead of just being the PCA, he said, oh, I'll be a supervisor level. Because why? I saw potential in him being more than just working the doubles in the group home as a PCA level, right? And so he had other Liberian girls before me, but when he got to me, and I never one day said, oh, you must go to school. Sometimes your partner you get and you see how they're moving, and then they encourage you, you will start to move that way too. So that's what we talk about, aligning yourself correctly with the right person, and you will see the worth in yourself, and you will want more for yourself.
Okay. Tita May, let's jump to another aspect of this whole thing. Joint account versus separate account, a joint account debates. Should couples, you know, whether girlfriend, boyfriend, or, you know, married couple, should they have joint accounts?
I would say yes to that. And the reason behind it, because, you know, if you look at it this way, if somebody's bringing maybe $4,000 home every 2 weeks, or maybe $6,000, and your wife is bringing maybe $5,000 at home, so the joint account, as long as you people understand, before you even start to do that, one person should know that one is the head when it comes to paying the bills, who is very good on time. When it comes to paying the bills on time, the rent, the car payment, the light bills, all of those things. And not because maybe you join an account with the person now, it means that you're the person who's supposed to make decision that. Remember, before you even start to join the account, you already know one another, your weakness and this person's strength. But that's what you should look at first before you even join into that joint account. Move forward. So as I was saying, maybe $10,000 or $11,000, right? Say hypothetically, if maybe if it's not even rent week, and that man and that woman say maybe they can come together and say, okay, so we don't have that much thing to spend here. We can put maybe $8,000 into the savings, right? That's $8,000 in the first 2 weeks. And then the next week again, you know, you still have maybe like $2,000 left, right? And then maybe 2 weeks from now, the end of the month, that ought to maybe $11,000 come in. What are you looking at? Right? You pay maybe rent, you pay the rest of the stuff. If the kids
Yeah.
need stuff, you go there and take it out. And there will always be money for the women nowadays,
Yeah.
to release themselves,
Yeah.
where as if maybe if they want to go to the store to buy something,
Yeah.
you have the green light now to go to the store to buy something because you have joint account with your
Yeah.
husband or maybe your
Yeah.
boyfriend. So it's not
Yeah.
like all the time, can I have, give me, may I, can I, all of this stuff. So it
Yeah.
brings burden on men sometimes. And that's why
Yeah.
smart guys nowadays, they
Yeah.
decide that, okay, so maybe joint account, will help. So even if you times that though, brother AB, right, the
Yeah.
basic aspect of it, 12
Yeah.
times, whatever, say $11,000 you're able to save, even the
Mhm.
more. You times that maybe with 12-month
Like,
time, you talk about 100 maybe $32,000 a year.
yeah.
That's a lot of money as compared
Mhm.
to you just saving your own money. I'm just saving my own money. You expect me maybe to pay, okay, the child care. Okay, I'll pay for the rent,
Mhm. Mhm.
and all of those things sometimes brings separation into the marriage because I don't know what you do with your money. I don't know what she does with her money. And she make her own decision. This person make their own decision. But when the money is together, you
Yeah.
see the money start to grow. And
Mhm.
that way people can go on vacation. See me,
Okay.
maybe sometimes somebody will say even like 50-50. Why
Okay.
most
But
people have issue with 50-50? If you are
okay.
living by yourself, right?
Yeah.
Are you not
You
paying
pay
100% of your bill?
100% by
Yeah.
yourself.
You are
Good.
paying 100%
Oh,
of your own
okay.
bill, Abby.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
when you are with somebody to say that, my sister, you know what, let me chip in your own 50%. I'm going to pay 70%, you pay 30%. How is
Yeah.
that not something that you can manage? You
Yeah.
still have a problem that I don't like this.
Yeah.
Why do
Okay.
you want to be
But
a liability?
yeah, but Mel though, right? Is like like Taylor May is going with the pros, all the pros of a joint account. But a lot of immigrant couples, partners, boyfriend, girlfriend, they have that thing separate, man. Is that everybody doing their own thing? Why is that? If there's so much benefit, right, to having a joint account like savings, or you guys doing things together, aligning those finances. Why is it like so many people in our community have separate accounts? They are living together but separate accounts.
I mean, it could be a lot of other reasons.
Why?
One
What's the
of it could
reason?
be I will come there. If one of it could be they are not intentional of being with this person. Because if you want to be with somebody,
Oh.
there is power in having joint account, right?
Okay.
There is a lot of financial power. Um, or it could be they are not sure this is not going anywhere, or they have hidden motive of things they want to do with the money, or they just
Mm,
want one person to be taking care of the responsibility. But I
mm,
think I think that path is wrong. If you are
mhm,
in a relationship and
mhm,
you are there for a long term and you're
mhm,
planning to stay together,
mhm,
having a joint account is important. It's important
mm,
in a sense that it brings power and stability in your home. You'll
mm,
have that money coming. Couple people, two income coming together is better than just one person. And, and,
Abby.
and you guys seeing where the money going.
mhm,
Allocate, have budget. This is what
mhm,
coming in. This is
mhm,
how much going out to bills or for bills. This is
mhm,
what we spend on a monthly basis. You have a cash sheet, build that out, and then you
mhm,
see how much you're saving every month. It's,
mm,
it's, it's, it's very powerful. So I
Yeah.
think as we say as immigrants, we shouldn't kind of stay with that mindset of things we were doing back then. Back then it's different. Nowadays you have different generation, right? Back now people didn't even have bank account, right? So
mm.
it's different. But here we do see how things are moving. Bank account, having joint bank account is important. So I would speak to that positive aspect of it. The negative aspect of it is just not being intentional with being in a relationship with a person would make a person to say, I'm not going to have joint account with this person.
Yeah, Tyler, let me take on the guys, though, man. A lot of LeBron dudes is like, they have that thing separate, and you know what I mean, and stuff like that, right? It's like they have that thing separate. I mean, if it's like Tina May and Mel are, listing all these great benefits, but why a lot of brothers there, right? Some of them been in relationship 10, 15 years, married and stuff like that, but they got that thing separate.
Because a lot of us have trust issues.
Trust issues,
Don't
huh? Okay. Why?
we,
Why
we
you is
don't
that you living with somebody 10, 15 years? What is the trust
we
issue
don't
there
we don't
again?
trust we don't trust ourselves, so it's hard to
Oh,
trust other people. And again, like Mel said, being unintentional about the relationship, you don't even know what you want. You don't know if you want to be with that people's daughter. You just want somebody to be there when you need the person. You don't have any long term goals, and you want to be all over the place
mm,
all the time. You were young, bouncing. All that. You didn't do what you were supposed to do when you were young, so you can get all that thing out of your system in that phase when it's time to sit down, grow, consolidate your finances, have better plans, and build a better life with somebody's serious daughter. You just don't be dragging her along, have money going all over different places. She can't even understand what you own with your finances. So how you gonna even be able to join an account with a woman who is so determined and serious, who wants to grow and build a better life for you guys and the family? You got all these other things that are going on with on the finances. So most of the time it's on us. We're not, we don't trust ourselves. So we can't trust her. We have no integrity. I'll just put it like that.
So you think that's what holding us back financially, or I mean, that's what holding
It has a lot to do with that, because like the brothers have said, when you combine the money, it grows. It really does. Especially if like one of the panelists said here, who's more responsible at managing finances.
Yeah.
You put the money together, you give that person the ability to lead that aspect of the relationship. Bro, you guys can do whatever you want to do together.
Okay.
It's magical.
Okay, Miss B, Tito, go ahead and I'll come to Miss B. What's your point?
So based on Brother Titus' points, I don't think maybe Brother Titus sometimes, or that maybe have something to do with maybe people don't trust themselves.
Yeah. And
that's why they don't trust the next person. You have to remember, if snake bites you before, when you see the tail of a lizard, you run.
You run.
Very fast. You will know where to see that. And let me tell you, when you see somebody running, either that man is chasing something or maybe something is pursuing that man.
But you said something earlier, give someone a chance though. Why do you want to, look back on a lizard that bit you maybe long time ago, and you still want to carry that forward?
No. When I say that bite you, I'm not talking that snake that bites you though. That's that lizard that I'm saying. But Mr. Kamara, it's could be the same person that turned into a lizard. Do you know that maybe this butterfly that you know here? Don't caterpillar, butterfly turn into caterpillar.
I'm coming back to your point. You're looking back. Why don't you look forward? To say, hey, man, give this person your chance.
You have to learn from your past, Abraham.
You got to learn.
Okay.
In the future.
Mr. Eddie, what I'm saying, what Title is saying at the end of the day, of course.
Yeah.
If it's not the past, if it's not because of Martin Luther King, all those people, will we be here? Why is it that when February come, or maybe the 20th of January, why is it that they're honoring him? Are they not looking at the past? So your past make you, and your past also break you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So what I'm trying to allude to what that brother said. At the end of the day, believe it or not, you have to be very strategic, because if somebody performs such an act, not one time, not two, not three, not four, a lot of time, like they have the history of doing these things, right? You as a person, you can tell yourself that, okay, you know what? I think I need to pump my brakes just a little bit to keep eye on this person, because I don't like the way that things is going. And sometimes being quiet will just demoralize you.
Okay.
So you have to be able to voice your opinion and let them know that what they are doing is not right. And that way you can be able to fix some of those problems by doing that.
Okay.
Yeah. So before you go on, Abe, I gotta ask the bro. So for how long would you put on those brakes? It's good for us to learn from our past, but for how long you gonna be in that situation, just holding good money?
And let me help you. Let me help you. And I have a joint account with her. I just said you have
and
to
not have a joint account. How long you gonna be on that?
Yeah. How long are you gonna be sizing her up or weighing her or trying to thinking back about the lizard that bring you like that now the butterfly is but you don't want to pay attention to the butterfly, but you're still thinking to the lizard that bit you.
Well, okay, so that's where we here now to educate one another.
Yeah.
So okay, if a lizard, maybe a snake that bit you before in the past, right? Instead of you saying that, okay, that snake bit me, no problem. I didn't die from it. I survived. No problem. Come back around again. That snake maybe turned around. So that it's trying to bite you again. Meaning, no, it's true.
Yeah.
They do 360 turns sometimes. Don't you see that somebody, okay, do you know that users have no limit? People that do wrong to people have no limit. Do you know that?
That's true.
Like, if you don't have chance, maybe sometimes when to stop giving. There are some people that are also an emotional giver. They will use you and wash you dry. You will not give you. So that's one point I'm trying to make to you. You're saying that, but at the same time, you're working with them. And why you want to check them is because you are remembering, okay, so they say you have the history of doing this. And then if you look at in the present now, that person is still doing what they used to do in the past. That's where the problem comes from, because they're showing no sign of changes.
Yeah.
If the person is showing sign of changes, or maybe they are trying to change that, okay, they're making some type of adjustment. You can say, okay, let me work with this, my sister, because I can see that you're making some type of adjustment. But if they're not doing that, that's when the snake part come in, because now you have to remember that, okay, I don't think this person wants to change.
Okay.
That's what I'm alluding to.
Okay, Miss B, though,
Good point.
two things I want to raise with you, and I would say probably three things. Saying you're a lone lady on here tonight, right? First, yeah, most ladies is a me, I let 50-50, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. Why is a lady let us say that? No 50-50 of men, right? Hey, we are together now. You working to to Tito Miss Point and to Miss Point. We don't have a joint account. It's not even 50-50. We're just paying our bills. We're doing stuff, right? It's like we are aligning to coach your topic here. We are aligning our financial value. That's what I think that's a key piece, right? Having a joint bank account. But why you have most of the ladies say, me and let her do no 50-50 with men?
Don't mind it. Just be hyping each other up for social media. Some of them doing 80-20, where they paying 80% and the men doing 20%.
Wow. Breaking news.
That's why I see some of
Breaking news.
like, why are you guys together? But I like what the
That's the breaking news.
Mr. Breaking news. Let me let y'all know right now. Ladies, I'm sorry. I'm gonna put y'all out in Front Street. Some of y'all in them house paying 80% of those bills, and that man paying 20%. But I'm gonna go back to what I feel is a happy equalizer. Taylor May said 70-30, right? How does the 70-30 work? Let's say the man makes 10 grand a month, she makes 5 grand a month. Now, if you're doing 50-50, you're consuming too much of her income, and that's unfair. So if he's making 10 grand and you guys have $5,000 in bills every month, right? And she brings $5,000, and you expect her to take 50% of hers, which would be $2,500 to pay into that. He's not taking 50% of his 10 grand. He's going to take $2,500 from that 10 grand, and he's going to have more of money to play with. So what needs to happen now is you look at what you're both bringing in, decide who's going to pay a little bit more based on the fact that they make more. They're bringing more home. But I'm not saying they should be the one responsible for exhausting more of their income because they're making more. No.
But let me hold you there, though. Let me hold you right there. If you guys have a joint account, it's not even why does that equation even have to play into? It's two of your money. It's a two shall become one. That one money right there. Why are you even considering it as a separate money?
Because not all relationships require the joint bank account. For whatever reason, maybe it's a traditional thing. Maybe it's not a norm for you. Maybe whatever the reason is, this is the reality. We don't have a lot of people having the joint account. And I'm not going to say that's wrong. But however, what I'm seeing is that understanding of how much somebody should bring to the table is important. It's not a matter of the account being joint. Because the reality is, the account will be joint, and I will see the man will go behind the woman's back and take some of that money out, right, and do other things with it. But should she leave him? Does this mean your marriage needs to be over? No, not necessarily. So everybody needs to be protected. You know, people stay married for 30 years and then they walk away and have nothing because he has taken everything and now she has to start from scratch, right? So let's protect ourselves regardless, right? It comes down to
is having a separate account and you do
have
your
a
thing.
separate account.
But how
it doesn't even matter.
How is that not a roommate thing?
That's not a roommate because you know what your husband's making, you know what he's bringing home, you know how you guys are deciding how the money's being spent, you know what he's putting away, and you know what you're putting away. And at the end of the day, his income is your income, your income is your income. You're still one unit, right? And some wealthy people, they do that intentionally. You don't want to keep all your eggs in one basket. I'm going to tell you, that's not financially correct. You shouldn't be having all your eggs in one basket. You guys should be putting your money in multiple different places. So you're not going to just rely on that one bank account and say you're going to take all your money and put it into that joint bank account. No, that's not a good. That's not a good financial layout, Abraham. And that has nothing to do
with from Ms. B.
Okay, yeah.
Are you for or against joint accounts?
That's what she's arguing here.
Are you for or against joint accounts?
Yeah, and she's making a forceful argument against bank account. if we have a separate
Are
bank
you
account,
for
how
it
we
or against
align
it?
our
Joint
value?
account.
I'm for it if it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, I don't feel like the joint bank account is at the core of you guys being financially feasible. No, that does not mean because you don't have a joint bank account that you guys are not financially feasible, that you're not working as a unit and you're not working together. If that works for you, that's fine. Because
Let
this
me
is the reality.
Can I expand on that real quick?
This is
Go
the
ahead.
reality. If one of your partners get levied, not because they're doing something
Yeah.
wrong. If one person gets levied, all of your finances is going out the door.
Yeah.
But if you're married, that's normally the case.
No, that's not a good economic thing to happen. That's not a good financial plan to have. So you want to tell me all the money you have together as a couple should be in one bank account sitting there?
I'm
that
not
is
all the money.
Tito
Not all
said,
the money.
okay.
said
So
earlier, right?
and that's the thing.
if
People
you
have
guys
joint
have
bank
10
accounts for
bank
different
accounts,
things.
just,
People have joint bank accounts for different things. There's an account for children, college.
Right.
There's an account for
everything.
Yeah, there's an account for different things. You have different bank accounts for different things.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna say that everybody needs to have a joint bank account because you're married to somebody or you guys are a partnership. And because you don't have a joint bank account, that don't mean you guys are doing something wrong or you're living in a bad way. I know people that are very successful and don't have a joint bank account. I know people who are not. They don't have a pot to piss in and they got this joint bank account. That's just the reality. I'm sorry. Because first of all, are you seeing that pay stub? Do you know all their money is actually making it into that account, right? These are these transparent things that you're going to have happen anyways. And just because you have a joint bank account, that don't mean it's happening. That's just the reality. It could just be a show and a facade. If I really trust my partner and we're really having financial conversations, it's not about having that joint bank account to me. That's me. Honestly, it's not. Does that mean I'm against it for other people? No, I'm not against it for other people. I haven't needed that in my relationship this year, making us 18 years to feel financially stable. I have not needed that in my relationship for us to have a joint bank account. And we've been doing fine. And when I go back to be like, sometimes somebody makes more than the other person. So I don't have to bring as much as my income to the equation. Because maybe the husband is a breadwinner and vice versa. Maybe she's the breadwinner and he's not as making as much. She's not going to ask him to bring more of his income to the equation. You cannot say do 50-50 if the person is making 50% less than what you're making. That is not fair. 50-50 should not be 50-50 of the bills. You add up all the bills together, and because the bill is $5,000, I don't care how much you make. I'm going to say bring $2,500. That's not fair. What if that's all I make is $2,500?
Okay,
then I'm left with nothing. I'm left asking you for money.
Okay, then Mel, I'm gonna go to Mel on this one. Then Mel, right? If Miss B is making this argument, then does aligning financial values even matter? Because if our income is not one, where like we have one account, doing investment together, doing everything together, because like finances, we are one now, right? Does even aligning our financial value, does it even matter? Because when it comes to money, it's so emotional. Does it even matter? It's like, why can't we take that emotional aspect out of it, right?
I never said we're not moving as one. If we're going to purchase that home,
if you
we
guys
have the budget, we're making that plan. We're going to purchase that car, we have the budget, and we're making that plan. Our finances are still aligned. I know how much he's making. He knows how much I'm making. We know what we're dealing with every month. We know what kind of money is coming into our home, and we know how it's leaving the house every month. You do not need a joint bank account for that to happen.
Okay, I'll go back to
you. Don't think it's let Mel go ahead.
Yeah, Mel.
Well, I mean, first of all, Miss B is saying what works for her and been working for her. So if it works for her, I mean, it's the conversation they have. That's why they believe that work for them, and that's okay. But what we're trying to say here, Abe,
He be sending money to a family member and what she won't trying to account.
It works for her, but what I'm trying to say, there is power.
Then she wanted men to bring 70%. She bring
30%.
If you want to, but go ahead, man.
But yeah, the point we're trying to make here is we are not saying it has to happen, but we're just saying it's good. It works better for the family. We're not saying all of your money should go into your joint account, right? I think we have the conversation before when we say at least you should have at least 3 or 4 bank accounts. Have that joint account that you put your money in for bills and stuff, and then have a saving account for your
And
future
I want
plan.
to say, I want to
And then
Mr. Edit.
and then later on you have, I mean, I'm saying we had the conversation before. I'm not alluding to.
Yeah.
And then we recommended you having your individual little account when you put $50 there when you want to do your hair, you want to do your individual stuff. These things
Yeah, your village
for other
people.
people. But yeah, Miss B is saying this worked for her for years and been working for her. So I'm not gonna sit here tonight and say, yes, I'm against this or I'm for this. It's all about having that conversation. Where you guys going? Are we aligned with it? And communicating clearly how you want your money to be allocated, and that worked for her. That's totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Folks, we are discussing finding the right partner, aligning financial values, aligning value for financial success. I'm laying here tonight having separate accounts. It's fine thing, you know. That's I don't you know what I mean. You like so long you have you like have this 70 30, you know. I learn things new on Inner Circle podcast every night, you know. So that's a great thing about this show, you know. But we can't keep dragging this all night. Taylor, though, if we are, you know, the discussion here, I know Walker say you're focusing on money tonight, but the discussion is about money because money, as you guys stated earlier, right, is a centerpiece of a relationship. Money is like, you know, whether you're doing it 50-50, 70-30, 80-20, money is always there. Whether you got it, you know, whether you're not even putting no percentages on it, right? Because it's a two shall become one. So what defines a successful marriage or successful relationship then? Because how can you take that emotional aspect of money out of it? You know, what defines a successful relationship? Taylor.
So my definition, a successful relationship is, for me, have a lot to do with transparency, have to do with respect, have to do with, you know, knowing the boundaries between one another at the end of the day. Because if you don't have all of those things in place, before even this topic that we're talking about, when it comes to finance, right? Because money, believe it or not, we can talk all night tonight. Maybe another time we'll be on again. But money, there's a reason why they call it currency. Because current travel. Do you understand? And if for any reason anybody, maybe people that are listening to this, or even all of us that are on tonight, if you think that money is not one of the key factors when it comes to this, you are wrong. In 2025, I'm telling you, believe it or not, most of the marriage that you see nowadays, finance is number one. So when all those things is lined up in place, like Ms. B, yes, like the brother, what do you call it, Titus or whoever said to exactly, if it's working for you, no problem. But we are also talking about the fabric of finance, joint finance being together. Some people, yeah, like you said, for you, it's working for you as well. You know, that even taxes, if you file taxes, tell you, say maybe husband and wife, you know, and that joint account bring a lot of advantage as compared to some people who just by themselves, right? If you're a married couple and you join together to do something, there's some advantage and disadvantage at the end of the day for married couples. And some people who's not doing that, there's also disadvantage for them. So those are all those things that you need to take into consideration, you know, because transparency is one of the major part. Because if I'm doing something tangible with my money and you are just here, you want to be shopping, maybe you want to be buying Brazilian weave. Nowadays that they have Japanese weave now, I don't know before you heard of it. That's what you want to be doing. And maybe some of them, they say that, okay, my own money, I want to do liposuction. That's why I'm saving my money. And the man is saving his money, paying bills. How do you survive? What's the transparency? So this joint account allow you to be disciplined. It puts you in a space where there are things that you used to do when you had that single account. Now that you are with this person, you cannot do it again. It's almost like when you are single. You know, when you are come together, people from different packages, you come together and everything's splashed. You will argue, you will fight. But because you're trying to understand one another, and when you get to that common ground, things is going to be okay. You expect that. And that's the power of it.
Okay, Tadas, my last question for you. How should couples, you know, whether married or not, right, approach difficult money conversations? How should they approach it? That is something sometimes I say, right, when we come on the show on Wednesday, you know, folks do not tune in because our people do not like money conversation, right? It's a lot of our people in our community don't like money conversation. Finance and money, they like to stay far away from it. But how should couples approach difficult money conversation?
Just be open. Be open. Be vulnerable.
Okay.
You know, be open, be vulnerable. Because again, you're building something that is gonna last perhaps for a lifetime. Be open. Talk about your credit, your financial habits. Be vulnerable with that person. That's the person you swear you want to be with. I mean, talk about it. It's nothing there again to keep under the rug. If you're really intentional about being with this person,
Yeah.
about it. These conversations must really happen in relationships. They foster different type of things in a relationship. The transparency that we're talking about, integrity, the trust. It continues to build trust. And believe me or not, when the person you're with see that you can be vulnerable, especially with your finances, it brings a different level of trust. It builds a different level of trust in that relationship.
But why
Okay,
if you
because
have, yeah, go ahead, finish your thought, and I'll ask you the next one.
there's something from our local province that said money be man.
Yeah.
So if a man, money makes a man, right? But if a man can be vulnerable and transparent with his money, with his and towards his woman, it earns a different level of trust and respect. What were you gonna ask?
Mm. Yeah. So my next question is going to be, right, what if you having that money, like it becoming, you said vulnerable, right? To use your word, right? You say vulnerable. It become
Okay.
vulnerable every time you have small thing. You say you like to do deal with your money, like they put in your face, right? You're vulnerable, right? Having that difficult conversation, it's like, but they put in your face. Oh, you eat this, this is like, how do you approach that, right? How do you, is like, if you're always vulnerable, right? You want to have those difficult money conversations. Say, hey man, maybe I'm not good at X, Y, and Z when it comes to money.
So they use it against you,
Yeah,
using it against you.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think that's something a lot of folks, mostly I'll just some men, women
Mhm,
do experience this too, but some men will experience this
mhm.
because apparently women have the habit of using stuff against you, right?
Yeah.
More than men.
Mhm.
However, should that stop you from growing and evolving with the person that you truly want to be with?
Okay.
You can talk about it. I mean, there are ways to resolve these things. If maybe you can teach, maybe you can
Mhm,
teach by leading the conversation about money. What would be your approach if you want to talk about money? Are you just gonna go and just blast at that person, just go out on that person
mhm,
because they made a certain bad decision financially?
mhm,
There are different approaches. You can ask for understanding. Hey,
mhm,
okay, I see that we're targeting this project, for this month, and
mhm.
I've been noticing that the money we were supposed to put together for this is
Yeah.
not really adding up. I mean, how do you feel about it? Open up that conversation.
Mhm,
Lead that. Maybe that partner can take a thing or two from there instead of using the attack approach every time. Because mind you, when you attack that person
yeah.
in an era where they're being vulnerable, sooner or
Mhm,
later they're gonna start drawing back.
yeah. Okay. Ms. B, my last question for you before we come to our closing statement here, right? Is that, a lot of folks, marriage is a big thing in our community. Everybody want to get married. But should folks do financial planning before getting married, before they jump in, before they come together? Should they do financial planning?
Like I said, from that first date, don't be scared.
Oh, for,
Start
for the
asking
first date, she
Don't
start
for
doing
move
that
it
financial
there.
first
Don't
planning.
date.
move it. All right.
Don't be scared. Start asking those critical questions. So definitely
Mm-hmm.
you should be doing financial planning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some key things that you can see a person, what your future is looking like with that person, is what are the conversations they're talking about when it comes to money. Are they, if you haven't bought that home, are they saying, you know what, honey, we should be looking at a home in the next 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're planning that wedding, how lavish is that wedding being planned, and what is the budget that you're setting for the wedding? Those are signs you can tell that, what are the intentions people have for their money, how they
Mm-hmm.
want to spend their money. Does it align with how the relationship that you have with money? People just have been traditionally and culturally sometimes have had bad relationships with money from generation to generation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, Taylor Mayer keeps talking about this 2025, that we need to be honest with ourselves how important money is when it comes to the relationship, right? Money does not make you happy, but money decides a lot when it comes to your being how stable you are, the foundation that you have, and you cannot ignore those things. And we all recognize, especially in this economy, it takes two. It really takes two to make it. That's the reality.
Yeah.
It takes two strong partners to make it, whether that account is joint or not. It takes two strong partners to really be successful in America. Cost of living goes up every year. This rent is going up. These mortgages, these homes are getting more and more expensive to buy. The interest rate is high. It takes two incomes to do anything successfully right now.
So to your ladies out there, you got some of these guys working hard, but then when the media finally,
can I interrupt you real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Tyler.
With what Ms. B just said, then would you say that there are relationships that are together that shouldn't be together just because of the money and the high living cost? Or is that a different conversation?
Honestly, if you guys are not compatible,
don't go just together around here because
it don't matter how much money there is if you're not right
people that, I know what. Okay, go ahead.
Because it's so expensive to be alone, so they're just together paying bills.
Roommates,
yeah, you have a lot of people who are roommates.
Roommate relationship there, right? You got a lot of roommate relationship in this place.
That's the reality. But it's
why does it have to be the reality?
I can do battle by myself. So I'm not going to be with somebody just because it's financially feasible for me. I'm not going to be with somebody because it's financially feasible, right? I can live a good life with just me alone by myself, my income or whatever. I'm with somebody who I didn't get to answer that question, but for me, I'm like, oh, he makes me laugh. He told me I was his best friend. He told me he could be vulnerable around me. So it was those things that he showed and he said that before money even came to play, right? That made me to fall in love with this person. And with that foundation of we like each other, we genuinely like each other, right? We're not pretending or we're not trying to see what we can get from each other. It's that made us comfortable to get to where we are today. And if that is not there, it doesn't matter how much money, eventually you will fall apart. There's Scottie Pippen and his wife, 30 years, or when he's not in the NBA anymore, what happened? She left him because that love was never truly there.
Okay. Well, folks, we can't keep dragging this all night, so we'll ask these panelists, for their closing statement. But Taylor May, I'll go to you first, right? Thanks so much, for joining us tonight, from the city of Des Moines, Iowa. We hope you can keep coming on here, Circle Park. You got some good knowledge, you contributed some great things here tonight. So we hope you can keep coming. But what's the message you want to leave with the folks out there, right, who have been listening to us passionately, you know what I mean? Talking about money and love. That's what I should say. We're talking about tonight, money and love, aligning the right values. What message you want to leave with the folks out there tonight as we wrap this up?
So I'll close up by saying, first, thanks for the opportunity, Mr. AB, and to my fellow panelists. You guys have been very wonderful with the topic tonight. But I'll tell you this today, if you are watching, and to all of you that are online, if you are not ready for marriage yet, I'll say it, don't get into it. If you are not ready to join bank account with somebody, don't join bank account with that person. If you know that they have bad spending habit, don't do it. Because that thing called love is a very crazy thing. Don't let it overshadow you. The thing that maybe you love the person so much, but you can be wounding yourself at the end of the day. You see that, let me say this to you. You know that when snake see a frog and that snake want to eat a frog, it's a trap for that frog. And that frog also eating a fly next door. The snake is watching that frog. The frog is stretching the tongue, collecting flies, eating it. That snake does not bother the snake because the snake know that when they eat the frog, they're eating the frog and the flies at the same time.
Okay.
So words for wise, men really doesn't need a lot. Penance. Men really doesn't need a lot. Men really, we build this thing because I'm telling you, man, from back in the days to now, men will still do what they are doing and still doing more for women. And it will always be like that.
Mm-hmm.
We need them to come aboard to help, because even Bible, it's inside the Bible. The two shall become one. God made them out of, men out of his own image.
Mm.
There's a reason why I believe that God put us to bed before he created them out of our ribs, because he didn't want us to be awake to see that maybe, the thing that women can do. But they need to be they need to be on board with men. Sometimes with this joint account, I'll tell you the truth, people that are watching, the beautiful thing about it, when you join this money, it become big. Sometimes women can say that, okay, and you guys have to do nails, you have to do your hair, you want to do feet and pedicure, manicure, you name it, liposuction, the rest of it. You have all these things. You want to go shop.
Thank you,
The money, the joint account, that's the power of it. You can go into that account once you're transparent and you are discussing this thing with your husband, because the online banking, whatever place that you swipe that card, the man will see it. The woman is also going to see where you spend the money.
Yeah.
Men don't need a lot. Sometimes even my wife, she'll tell me, say, hey, man, where's my allowance? That's how we call it. She said, okay, so you want to take $1,000 for allowance? No problem. The money. Because if you look inside your bank account with this joint account, the effort that she have made with my own effort, sometimes you see maybe that you have even $150,000. Why wouldn't you go and take even $5,000 to do whatever that you want to do?
Yeah.
Man, we don't need a lot. I just need, I'm bald-headed like you, but AB. So I have my own machine to cut my hair. Bible, I fire out of my Bible. They don't cut my head again. They're upset.
Yeah. Okay. Now to you, thank you, man. Thank you for that good closing. Mel, what's the message you want to leave with the folks out there tonight listening to this Money and Love topic, aligning values for financial success? What's the message you want to leave our audience tonight?
Great conversation, everybody. Our brother brought fire on tonight.
Yeah.
Taylor, thank you for your contribution. I kind of sit there and just listening to you. Thank you, everybody. Miss B, Tatters, and AB. Well, here's what I'll say. In the defense of, before I close, in the defense of those that refuse to have joint accounts, sometimes there are other good reasons. And one of the good reasons could be maybe one of the person is inconsistent with their job. They're not very, man, maybe you go to work 1 month and then they laugh back, right? So doing that, it most likely might not work for them. So they believe not having joint accounts. So just in their defense to add that on. But here's what I'll say here tonight. I think if you are starting a relationship with somebody and you're working on something, you have to be intentional that this is what you want, and you have to be consistent. And you guys should have a vision where you want to go, like where you guys working towards. Relationship, it does not just end in the bedroom. There are a lot of other things that make relationship work. It's not just ending just, I get to know you today and that's it. At first few months it will be loving and bubbly, but being intentional on where you're going as a person and joining with someone else and working together as a team will make you guys powerful, will make you guys to stay together for long, and even eternity. So anyone listening here tonight, just be intentional when you're getting in a relationship. Get to know who you are getting in a relationship with, and also work on your finances as well together as a team. Holistically, you guys will go far in life. I will end with that tonight.
Okay, Tadas, your closing message to our beautiful listening audience out there.
Man, I love these conversations because, Inner Circle is one of the only platforms that's doing this in our community. It's for everyone. It elevates the community. These are household conversations. These are, community conversations. And we just continue to learn from one another and build each other up, build our community up. That's how a people advance, So, great conversation tonight. Brother Taylor May, please, this shouldn't be your first and last time. Continue to come again. This is your home now,
Yes,
and then just shout out to everyone listening and following us. Spread the word tonight, and just know that love is not just it shouldn't just be a chemical reaction thing. It should be an action word. Love should be based and determined on concrete elements in your life, not just about how you feel, because that will never. Emotions are not stable. So if your love is just based off emotions, we're gonna soon find a psych word to put you in because your entire life is just gonna be very unstable. Predicate your love on concrete values in your life, be it financial values, career paths, respect, different values. Predicate your love on those things, and I bet you'll have a successful love life than most people who are not doing that. So thank you all for the opportunity.
Okay, Ms. B, you had the opening word and you have the closing. You have the closing word for our audience. Guys, I said, this is your show. This is your topic. You are flowing tonight. You have the
Most sure.
separate account stuff. You got a 70-30 rule and all those things. But what's your closing message to the ladies out there? To your ladies out there, some of them want to have $50,000 wedding or whatever, and things like that. It's like, but what's the message you want to leave our audience tonight? Aligning values for financial success.
First of all, I want to tell our guest tonight, Mr. Taylor Made, thanks for coming and joining us. You're welcome back anytime. Mel and Titus, thanks for holding me down tonight and having this critical conversation. It was a really great conversation with you guys. I love the perspectives that you brought to the conversation. I'll say this, ladies. I'm a sucker for love. I love love. I love the idea of love. I love how love makes you feel, right? And so if the foundation starts there, there's nothing wrong with that. But the reality is you have to choose right. Again, I started with Michelle Obama. I'm going to end with Michelle Obama when she talks about in her book, for 10 years, she couldn't stand her husband. She just genuinely didn't like him. So just know there are other things that were keeping her there over those 10 years for that love to come back. And sometimes that's what happens. We fall in and out of love with each other. So we can't just be there just for the love. There are other things like my brother Titus talked about that need to be put in place so that when those times are happening where that love is going and you're trying to find your way back to each other emotionally, there are other things there to keep you solid and keep you whole and keep you moving along. Do not be in a situation just because it's financially feasible. It's not going to work in the long run for anyone, right? You both need to continue to work on yourself individually. Always, we're evolving and we're growing, and sometimes those are the growing pains. But then also you're working on each other collectively too, as well as a partner. People don't always grow the same, so don't be making him feel bad. Women, we're naturally more mature, we grow faster, even though they may be older. We grow faster when we're naturally more mature. And I think my brother Taylor May said it very wise. We're very smart. God made us very, very smart. So, but don't use that against the man. Don't put him down, right? Yeah, don't use that against him. Don't put him down, right? Use that, what you have, to uplift him. Let him see, worth in himself. And when he aligns that with you, man, I'm telling you, I'm 18 years in. It's powerful. It's a powerful, wonderful, sexy thing, lady.
Yeah. Well, with that, folks, we'll end the show there tonight. Finding the right partner, aligning financial value, aligning value for financial success. So, hey, man, this is a community show. This is a show.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Walker, man.
Taylor May, we enjoy you tonight. We hope you can come on here every night, and contribute, right? Is that the folks want to hear you out from the city of Des Moines, Iowa. And tomorrow we're going to be back here, but tomorrow we'll have two special guests. We're going to be talking about education in the digital age, AI and education. This time, you even got it right now. So I even know how those kids are managing in school, in college, and all those stuff. So tomorrow is another, we're switching gear a little bit tomorrow and things like that. But thanks so much, folks. And good night, everyone. See you here tomorrow. Make sure subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on LinkedIn. Follow us everywhere, man. We're everywhere now. Inner Circle Podcast is growing. We're growing, man. We're growing. So good night, folks.
Good night.
Thank you.